The Nissan one is out as well, 3%. New CEO could be in charge. We'll talk about that and the implications. And can they actually then revisit this potential marriage that fell apart even before they walked into the altar? Okay, very, very quickly, despite the sort of soft session sideways in Europe, slightly better in the US, this is what happened as far as the Chinese equity complex in the US is concerned. 4% on Alibaba, JD.com. So these are the stocks we'll be tracking going into the open today, but certainly not an exhaustive list of the sectors to watch, which Rebecca will talk about later, everything from tech, everything to oil, chips, and everything in between. We did see a bounce in Chinese bond futures yesterday on the back of some injections coming out of the PBOC, maybe alleviating some of the concerns on the short end there. But as you can see, the futures in the early goings of Thursday are seeing some weakness. But of course, just keep in mind, just a massive rally going into the afternoon session yesterday. So maybe we're just taking some of the steam off right now, some off the top. Rebecca.
Yeah, that's right. And when we think about the HSI, though, we're really wondering whether or not we're going to be able to hit this key psychological level of 24,000. It did look like in intraday trading, we were just sort of 6 or 7 points off that. We ended a little ways further down. And to Dave's point, a lot of sectors in focus today. We're thinking about e-commerce, EVs, chips, energy, banks. But I'll just pull out a couple of key stories. Obviously, NVIDIA, one of, if not the world's most closely watched earnings came in. We had this upbeat view as well. And another Bloomberg scoop separately here, banks planning to recapitalize three of its biggest banks, China, injecting at least 400 billion yuan of fresh capital. Anyway, we'll go back to that big NVIDIA story. We are joined now by Bloomberg Intelligence senior analyst Kunjan Sabani. Kunjan, let's just kick off. What are the numbers that really mattered when we look at earnings?
I think overall it was a middle of the road earnings result versus implied expectations. Yes, they did beat and raise, but that has become something everyone expects of them. Though the magnitude of beat and raise have continued to come down, and it was the same thing we saw this time, especially on the outlook, which seemed to baked in some conservatism. There were some positives, the Blackwell numbers of 11 billion and the commentary around strong Blackwell